The doctor's cruel laugh echoed through the hospital hallway like a slap in the face. 9-year-old Grace Williams stood there, her small body trembling, as Dr. Richardson, the head doctor with grey hair and eyes cold as winter, looked down at her like she was nothing more than dust on his expensive shoes.
Save your mama?
He laughed again, louder this time, the sound bouncing off the white walls. Little girl, do you have $50,000 hidden in that raggedy little purse of yours? Grace clutched her mother's old brown purse tighter against her chest. The purse was worn and cracked, but it smelled like her. Mama's perfume, the cheap kind from the dollar store that still made everything feel like home. Her small hands were shaking like leaves in a storm, but her voice stayed strong like her mama taught her. Please, sir, Grace said, looking straight into those cold eyes. My mama is dying in there. She's carrying my baby brother. They both need you to help them. Dr. Richardson's smile was mean and ugly. And that's very sad, child, he said, not sounding sad at all. His voice was like ice water. But medicine costs money. Real money. Your mother has no insurance. No way to pay. We've done what the law requires, nothing more. Other doctors and nurses had stopped their work to watch this scene. Some shifted their feet, looking uncomfortable. Others just stared with curious eyes. Grace felt like a small bird surrounded by hungry cats. "Ah, my beautiful family. May the Almighty bless you with wisdom. May He protect your families from life's storms and bring them back together with love, stronger than before. Because in God's eyes, every family can be made whole again. My channel is dying because many of you don't get notifications. Please just like and comment. It takes only 2 seconds, but gives me strength and keeps this family alive. Every story I bring is written with love and respect for you. Stay with me until the end because your trust is my hope and your loyalty is my power. If your heart is ready and you believe that untimely death is not, for you and your family type I am here. But let me tell you exactly how Grace got to this heartbreaking moment, because what happened next would shake this hospital to its very foundation and restore your faith in the power of a mother's love. Just 6 hours earlier, everything was normal. Grace was in her 4th grade classroom, working on math problems, when the school nurse appeared at the door. Her face was serious like storm clouds before rain. Grace Williams, the nurse called softly. Please get your things, sweetheart. Grace's heart started beating fast. Mama always said, when grown-ups use that gentle voice, something bad is coming. She packed her worn backpack with shaky hands while her classmates stared. In the hallway, Mrs. Johnson, their neighbor with the kind eyes and warm hugs, was waiting. But today, tears were running down her brown cheeks like rivers. Baby girl, Mrs. Johnson whispered, kneeling down to Grace's level. Your mama collapsed at her job. We need to get to the hospital right now. The world stopped spinning for Grace. Her mama, Denise Williams, was 7 months pregnant with Grace's little brother, the baby they had prayed for, planned for, dreamed about together. Mama worked 2 jobs, cleaning offices at night and stocking grocery shelves during the day, just to keep their small apartment and put food on their table. Now, my precious family, and I need you to stay with me because your hearts matter to this story. Grace sat in Mrs. Johnson's old car, watching the city blur past through tears. She held her mama's purse tight, the one mama had forgotten in her rush to work that morning. The hospital was big and scary, full of bright lights and the smell of cleaning supplies mixed with fear. Grace had never seen so many worried faces in one place. The waiting room felt like a place where hope came to die. A nurse with tired eyes approached them. Are you here for Denise Williams? Grace jumped up like lightning. Yes, ma'am. That's my mama. Can I see her now? She needs to know I'm here. The nurse's face changed, and Grace saw something there that scared her more than thunder, pity, the kind of look grown-ups give you when they know something terrible you don't know yet. Sweetheart, the nurse said, her voice as gentle as a mother's lullaby. Your mama is very, very sick. The doctors are working hard, but what? Grace's voice got smaller, like she was shrinking inside herself. The baby is in danger too. Your mama's body is too weak, and without proper treatment, the nurse didn't finish. But Grace understood. Sometimes the things people don't say are louder than the things they do. Hours crawled by like wounded animals. Grace refused to eat the sandwich Mrs. Johnson brought. She refused to sleep on the uncomfortable waiting room chair. All she could do was pray to God and hold her mama's purse like it was a magic lamp that could grant wishes. My beautiful family, I need you to understand something. This is where your love and support keeps stories like this alive. Just like Grace never gave up on her mama, I never give up on bringing you stories that touch your heart. Your likes and comments are like Grace's prayers. They give strength when everything seems hopeless. Around midnight, when the hospital got quiet as a church, Grace heard voices floating down the long hallway. She recognized Dr. Martinez, the young Latino doctor who had spoken to them earlier with kind eyes. Grace got up on silent feet, her heart pounding like drums, and crept toward the voices. What she heard next made her blood run cold as winter water. "The situation is critical," Dr. Martinez was saying, his voice heavy with worry. "We could lose both mother and baby tonight, but there are procedures, emergency surgery that could save them both." Then came another voice. Deep, cold, uncaring, Dr. Richardson, the head doctor with gray hair and a heart made of stone. "Those procedures cost money, Martinez. Real money. This woman has no insurance, no family with deep pockets. We've done our legal minimum." "That's enough." Grace pressed herself against the wall, her small body shaking with anger and fear. They were talking about her mama and baby brother, like they were broken toys not worth fixing. "But Dr. Martinez pleaded, these are human lives. The woman is young, healthy otherwise. The baby could survive if we act now." Dr. Richardson's laugh was like breaking glass. "Human lives don't pay hospital bills, Martinez. We're not a charity. We're a business." That's when something inside, Grace, something her mama had planted there with years of love and strength, caught fire. She thought about all those nights mama came home exhausted from working 2 jobs. Feet swollen, hands cracked from cleaning chemicals, but still finding energy to help Grace with homework. She thought about mama singing lullabies to her belly, talking to the baby brother who was fighting for his life. Grace stepped into the light like a warrior angel. "Excuse me, doctors." Both men turned, shocked to see the little girl standing there in her school clothes, clutching that worn brown purse like a shield. "You need to save my mama," Grace said, her voice small but fierce as a lion's roar. "And my baby brother too. They're good people. They deserve to live." Dr. Richardson's eyes went cold as January wind. "Little girl, you have no business listening to grown-up conversations. Go back to your seat and wait like a good child." But Grace didn't move. Her mama's words echoed in her heart. "Baby girl, when something matters, when it really, truly matters, you speak up loud and clear. Don't let nobody make you feel small." "I'm not going anywhere," Grace said, standing taller. "Not until you promise to save my mama." That's when Dr. Richardson did something that would haunt him for the rest of his days. Something that would change everything in ways nobody could imagine. He looked down at this brave little girl, this child fighting for her family with nothing but love and determination, and he laughed. He actually laughed at her pain, at her desperation, at her beautiful, unbreakable spirit. That cruel laugh echoed through the hallway like a curse. And somewhere in that hospital, forces were already moving that would make Dr. Richardson wish he had never been so heartless to a little girl who loved her mama more than life itself. The miracle was about to begin. My beautiful family, what happened next will restore your faith in miracles and remind you that God never abandons those who fight with pure hearts. Stay with me because this moment will touch your soul forever. Dr. Richardson's cruel laugh was still echoing through the hallway when footsteps approached from behind. Slow, deliberate footsteps that made everyone turn around. An elderly black woman walked toward them, her back straight despite her age, wearing the simple blue uniform of a hospital janitor. Her name tag read, Mrs. Dorothy, Washington Environmental Services. But there was something about the way she carried herself, like royalty dressed as a cleaning lady. "Excuse me," Mrs. Dorothy said, her voice gentle but carrying the weight of authority. I couldn't help but overhear this conversation. Dr. Richardson rolled his eyes with annoyance. "Ma'am, this is a private medical discussion. Please return to your duties." But Mrs. Dorothy didn't move. Instead, she looked down at Grace with eyes full of warmth and recognition. "Child, what's your mama's name?" "Denise Williams," Grace whispered, tears streaming down her cheeks. "She's having my baby brother, and they won't help her because we don't have money." Mrs. Dorothy nodded slowly, then turned to face Dr. Richardson. When she spoke, her voice was calm as still water, but every word carried power. "Doctor, I've been cleaning these halls for 35 years. I've seen you turn away dozens of families just like this little girl's. Poor families. Black families. Families you decided weren't worth saving." Dr. Richardson's face turned red with anger. "I don't have to listen to this from cleaning staff." "Security!" But Mrs. Dorothy smiled, a mysterious smile that made Grace feel like miracles were possible. "Oh, you'll listen today, Dr. Richardson, because you see, there's something you don't know about me." She reached into her uniform pocket and pulled out her phone. With calm movements, she dialed a number. "Hello, David," she said into the phone. "It's Mama. I'm at the hospital and I need you to come here right now. There's a situation that requires your immediate attention. My precious family, sometimes God works in ways we never expect. Sometimes he puts angels in janitor uniforms and gives them power to move mountains. What Mrs. Dorothy did next will amaze you. Within 10 minutes, the hospital doors burst open. A tall, well-dressed black man in an expensive suit rushed through the hallway, followed by 2 other men in suits. But Grace noticed something that made her heart skip. This important-looking man had Mrs. Dorothy's same gentle eyes. "Mama," the man said, embracing Mrs. Dorothy with deep love. "What's wrong?" Your voice sounded urgent. Mrs. Dorothy pointed to Grace, then to Dr. Richardson. "Son, this is Grace Williams. Her mother is dying, upstairs along with her unborn baby." Dr. Richardson here just laughed at this child when she begged him to save her family. He said they don't have insurance, so he won't provide the necessary treatment. The man's expression changed completely. His gentle eyes became steel, and when he spoke, his voice carried the authority of someone used to being obeyed. "Dr. Richardson," he said, extending his hand, "I don't believe we've been properly introduced. I'm Dr. David Washington, Chief of Surgery at Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore, and more importantly, son of the woman you just disrespected." Dr. Richardson's face went white as fresh snow. His hands started shaking like leaves in a storm. But Dr. Washington," he stammered, "I had no idea. Your mother never said—" "My mother," Dr. David Washington said, his voice rising, "has been working at this hospital for 35 years, putting me and my 3 siblings through medical school by cleaning up after doctors like you. She's seen more dedication to healing in her little finger than you have in your entire career." Grace watched this unfold like a beautiful dream. The cleaning lady who had shown her kindness was the mother of one of the most famous heart surgeons in the country. Dr. David Washington knelt down to Grace's level, his voice becoming gentle again. "Sweetheart, what's your mama's name and what's wrong with her?" "Denise Williams," Grace said, hope blooming in her chest like flowers after rain. "She's 7 months pregnant and she collapsed at work. They say she needs surgery, but we don't have money for insurance." Dr. Washington stood up and faced Dr. Richardson with fire in his eyes. "Get me this woman's medical files, now, and prepare the best surgical team in this hospital. We're operating tonight." "But sir," Dr. Richardson stuttered, "the cost, the insurance." Dr. Washington's voice became thunder. "I'll cover every cent personally. And furthermore, effective immediately, you're suspended pending a full investigation into how many families you've turned away due to their financial status. My beautiful family, I need you to understand, this is why your support matters. Just like Grace's love brought a miracle, your likes and comments bring these stories to families who need hope. You are part of every miracle we share." The next few hours moved like a whirlwind. Mrs. Dorothy held Grace's hand while her son assembled the best medical team available. They rushed Denise Williams into emergency surgery, and for the first time in hours, Grace felt like her prayers were being answered. At dawn, Dr. David Washington emerged from the operating room, still in his surgical scrubs, with tears of joy in his eyes. "Grace," he said, kneeling beside the little girl who had waited all night, "your mama is going to be fine. And you have a healthy baby brother who couldn't wait to meet his brave big sister. Grace burst into tears, but this time they were tears of pure joy. Mrs. Dorothy wrapped her in a grandmother's hug while Dr. Washington continued. Your mama named him Gabriel, God's messenger angel. She said if it wasn't for her angel daughter fighting for them, neither of them would be here. As Grace held her baby brother for the first time, with her mama smiling weakly but beautifully from the hospital bed, she understood something important. Love never gives up. Faith moves mountains. And sometimes the angels God sends us are wearing janitor uniforms and carrying mops instead of halos. Dr. Richardson was fired that week. The hospital implemented new policies ensuring no family would ever be turned away for lack of insurance. And Mrs. Dorothy Washington was honored as Employee of the Decade, not just for her 35 years of service, but for raising a son who remembered that healing isn't about money. It's about love. My precious family, remember this truth. No matter how small you feel, no matter how hopeless things seem, love has power to change everything. Just like 9-year-old Grace, when you fight for what matters with a pure heart, heaven itself will move to help you. And that, my beautiful family, is a promise you can take to the bank. Never forget, true greatness comes from honoring the love that makes us who we are. May God bless every woman reading this with unshakable strength, endless dignity, and hearts that shine brighter than the sun.